Thousands of Americans are reacting to federal immigration enforcement operations that have sparked massive backlash, protests, and political conflict. What's up, guys? My name is Osas, reporting from Nigeria, Lagos State precisely. And right now, we are breaking down a huge trending UX politics story reported by major outlets, which you are seeing on the screen right now. So I'm going to show you some of the clip of the protest that is taking place in America, Minnesota.
The Trump administration's immigration crackdown and ICE surge in the Twin Cities drew large protests today.
It was part of a general strike and walkout backed by labor leaders and faith groups. Special correspondent Fred DeSam Lazaro begins our coverage with this report from Minneapolis.
ICE out! ICE out!
Thousands of people braved bone-chilling temperatures this afternoon for a rally in downtown Minneapolis, protesting what they call a siege of the Twin Cities by federal agents. For many here and throughout the Twin Cities, Renee Nicole Good has become an icon. The 37-year-old mother of three was shot by an ICE officer in Minneapolis 2 weeks ago. Her image now appears widely throughout the Twin Cities. Annie Rose co-owns the Lost Fox, a downtown St. Paul cafe that's a quiet refuge from all the tension outside.
Renee Good is the face of it. It's a face that people can feel comfortable with. She's a woman, she was a mother, she was white, and it's something that we can come back to and say, oh, they came for my neighbors and then they came for me. Well, that is something that we can all resonate with.
Today she closed the place, even though it's tough to lose a Friday evening's revenue in the slowest month of the year, she says.
It's already hard out here. Every January I take out a no-interest credit card to make sure I can make payroll. This year I'm going to probably have to pay interest on that credit card.
Across the metro area, hundreds of small businesses, especially restaurants, heeded a call to observe a general strike, many in sympathy with immigrant-owned shops where business has plummeted sharply amid fears of ICE patrols. Schools in the area also closed today. Labor unions led the call for the general strike, but the decision was made easier by today's life-threatening low temperatures. Still, Annie Rose said she felt compelled to brace them.
It's all fear-based. You're afraid to go to rallies, whether it's cold, you're afraid to go to rallies because you don't want to be shot. You're afraid to stand up for things because of fear. And how can you live your life if you're constantly in fear? It's important to show my kids that, no, you can stand up for what you believe in.
Protesters marched about a mile through downtown Minneapolis to the indoor basketball arena. The DHS gave no signs today of easing up on its surge in the Twin Cities in the days ahead. On Thursday, Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino was asked if there's a number of arrests agents were targeting.
There is a number, and it's called all of them.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said 10,000, quote, criminal illegal aliens have been arrested here, a sharp spike from the start of the week when the agency put the figure at 3,000. But the department has released details of far fewer cases, which it calls the worst of the worst. All this comes at a time of rising public scrutiny. ICE officers detained a 5-year-old boy on Tuesday during an immigration enforcement operation. At a press conference today, Marcos Charles, the head of ICE's deportation branch, said the boy was being cared for.
We do everything in our power not to separate families. So they took him back together to Minneapolis, here to the city, to the ICE facility for processing, and now they are being well cared for at a family residential center.
This is what community looks like.
On Thursday, 3 prominent civic activists were arrested after an anti-ICE protest at a St. Paul church. The White House later posted an AI-manipulated image of one woman to its social media account. When asked about the image, Kaylin Dorr, the White House Deputy Communications Director, wrote, "Enforcement of the law will continue. The memes will continue." At a separate anti-ICE rally today, roughly 100 people, including members of clergy, were arrested after protesting outside a terminal at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport.
I am slowly losing hope, and that is a problem, and that's what keeps me up at night. But then I go to rallies, like you asked why I'm going to go to the rally, and that is to see hope in process.
For the PBS NewsHour, this is Fred DeSam Lazaro in Minneapolis.
Hey, just a minute before you move on. I want to say thank you for watching and for supporting us. It's you, all of our viewers, our readers, and our listeners who make everything that we do possible. So thank you from everyone here at PBS News.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.
All right, welcome back. Once again, my name is Usas, reporting from Nigeria, Lagos State. Since early January, Minneapolis has seen huge crowds calling for federal agents to be pulled out after two fatal shootings involving federal immigration officers, including the deadly
Frigid temperatures have not kept thousands of Minnesotans out home over the last month, defending their neighborhoods as ICE continues its detention operations. Today, hundreds of Minneapolis businesses closed in support of its community's protests against ICE.
And some 100 clergy members were also arrested at the Minneapolis airport, calling on U.S. airlines now to refuse to transport ICE detainees. John Fanilio is live in our news center. He's got details and reaction to the growing tensions there in the Twin Cities. John?
Rick, Cher, thousands of people took to the streets today in frigid single-digit temperatures to protest ICE. Many say federal agents have gone too far and are violating people's constitutional rights. But the Department of Homeland Security says they are following the letter of the law.
Say it loud, say it clear, immigrants are welcome here.
Tens of thousands of people braving the bitter cold across Minneapolis, calling on ICE to leave their city.
What's happening to people here in Minneapolis and other parts of the country it's too much. It's not right. There needs to be due process.
Oh my God, no!
ICE's aggressive tactics continuing to draw sharp scrutiny. Residents say agents continue to chase and detain anyone they believe may be an immigrant.
They don't care about documentation. They're absolutely taking everybody, and then they end up releasing them just because they're on this power trip.
Images like these of protesters pinned to the ground by federal officers while being sprayed in the face with chemical agents, further fueling their outrage.
We've seen that this federal government is disregarding the Constitution on a daily basis. You know, there's an illegal force attacking the citizens of this state right now and other states.
And tonight, new details about this boy, 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos, who was taken along with his father by ICE on Tuesday. The family's attorney says they are not criminals, are here legally, and have an active asylum case.
This family was not eluding ICE in any way. They were following all the established protocols, pursuing their claim for asylum, showing up for their court hearings, and posed no safety, no flight risk, and never should have been detained.
ICE denying claims the boy was used as bait to catch fellow immigrants inside the home, and say they only took him in custody when his father fled from officers.
Arias fled from law enforcement on foot, abandoning his child in the middle of winter in a vehicle. My officers stayed with the child. They cared for him, took him to get something to eat from a drive-through restaurant, and spent hours ensuring he was taken care of.
But Columbia Heights public school officials who witnessed the incident say agents told the boy to knock on the door so that his mother would open it, but she refused out of fear of being apprehended.
Mom was there. She saw out the window and Dad was yelling, "Please do not open the door. Don't open the door," because of the other picture that I'm sure you've seen where there's a little boy knocking at the door with an ICE agent looming over him.
So it's been, unfortunately, over the last few weeks, pretty common knowledge about not opening doors.
School officials say the little boy Liam and his father are from Ecuador, came here legally, have an active asylum case, and do not have an order of removal. DHS says the boy and his father are being held together at a detention center in Texas. In the News Center, I'm John Fanilio, sending it back to you in the studio.
John, thank you.
All right, welcome back. Once again, my name is Usas from Nigeria, reporting from Nigeria. As you can see, a lot of Americans, they are protesting, they are shouting, they are agitating for the federal government to remove ICE away from Minnesota. They are not happy because of what ICE is doing. They are saying currently that ICE is not doing a professional job, that ICE is doing unprofessional job, that ICE is killing their people in Minnesota. So there is another footage from where ABC, where you will see a lot of protesters protesting, calling on the federal government, calling on Donald Trump to withdraw the ICE away from Minnesota. As you can see on the screen, that is the video. Credit
need to die or get badly hurt for this operation to end.
Tonight, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry speaking out in frustration about the second fatal shooting by a federal agent this month in the Twin Cities. A 37-year-old man died after a shooting involving a Border Patrol agent, spurring more protests there as well as across the country. Here in Portland, hundreds are protesting in front of the ICE facility on South McAdam. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight at 11 on your Saturday. I'm Barry Mangold. We're going to be showing you the scene here in Portland live in just a minute. But first, we got to learn more about the man who died in a hospital after being shot multiple times by immigration officers. The Department of Homeland Security says the man approached Border Patrol officers with a gun, and they shot him during a struggle to disarm him. DHS has not said whether the man pointed the weapon at agents or brandished it before the gunshots. The Minneapolis police chief said the man had a license to carry a gun. Protesters swarming that shooting scene shortly after. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz called the shooting horrific and said that he asked the White House to pull immigration officers out of the state. And again, this is the second fatal shooting involving federal officers in Minneapolis in less than 3 weeks there. 37-year-old Renee Good was shot and killed by an ICE agent on January 7th when federal officials say that she tried to run over an agent with her car. Minnesota officials dispute that claim and say the shooting was not justified. And again, today we are learning that relatives of the man who was killed say that he was 37-year-old Alex Preddy, an ICU nurse who was protesting immigration enforcement. DHS claims he had a gun and officers fired defensive shots. Witnesses say that is not what happened. And here is video of that shooting that we've gotten a hold of. It appears to show someone in the street filming federal agents, that is, when Alex Preddy and another person were hit with pepper spray. Preddy and the other person went to the ground where agents surrounded them and jumped on top of Preddy. At least one officer hit him multiple times. Video from one angle appears to show an agent take Preddy's handgun before any shots were fired, but that has not been confirmed by officials. We also see an agent fire what sounds like 10 shots in rapid succession as Preddy is on the ground. And tonight we are getting very different descriptions from Minnesota and DHS. Listen.
During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, a Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots.
I just saw a video of more than 6 masked agents pummeling one of our constituents and shooting him to death.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz insisting the state will investigate this, but DHS officials are reportedly blocking state investigators from the scene despite a court warrant. President Trump reacted to the shooting on Truth Social tonight, saying, quote, "Much of what you're witnessing is a cover-up for this theft and fraud," referring to the recent child care fraud activity in Minnesota. He went on to say, quote, "The mayor and the governor are inciting an insurrection with their pompous, dangerous, and arrogant rhetoric." His post included the picture of the gun DHS officials say was recovered from the man shot and killed. Today, he claimed, Trump did, that Governor Walz and Mayor Fry were not allowing police to protect ICE officers. Both the governor and mayor have called for federal agents to leave the state and city. Here in Portland, hundreds of people gathered for a spontaneous protest at the ICE facility in response to today's deadly shooting in Minneapolis. Our crews at the scene have watched protesters cross the property line to the federal facility, walking right up to the gates of the building. Portland police already warning the crowd tonight that anyone blocking the road or barricading the doors could be arrested. We have K2's Jennifer Singh joining us live from the ICE facility right now. So, Jen, this is far from your first time at an ICE protest. Describe the crowd there tonight and what you're seeing now.
Well, Barry, the crowd has dwindled a bit. There are probably around 100 people here. We saw those numbers get up to well over 300 earlier, if we have to take a guess. Now, you can see people are not up to the property line right now, but throughout the evening, we've been seeing crowds of people go up to the gates, even pushing on the gates. Actually, you can see one person who's picking up tear gas and other chemical weapon canisters. You can see I have this gas mask here with me. We've had to use this a number of times tonight, and this is also one of the reasons why we've been told this is a tear gas canister. It has gone off, so that's why we're able to hold it safely right now. But we've seen a different approach from both protesters and federal agents tonight. Protesters have been throwing things back, once again pushing up to the gates. Normally we've been seeing if anyone crosses the blue line, they're subject to arrest. And then federal agents have been in the back, first of all, starting off by deploying chemical weapons inside of the gates and having it waft out to protesters. Protesters responding by waving it back with their signs. It wasn't until earlier this evening, maybe around 8 o'clock, that we first saw federal agents come out, deploy tear gas, flashbangs, pepper balls, and other chemical munitions. Now, we have not seen anyone detained this evening. Typically, like I said, once you cross that blue line, we've seen that's when people are targeted for arrest. One other thing I do want to know, we did see people earlier trying to rip off the wood of the side of the building, as well as throwing rocks and other items at the security camera to knock it down. People have been banging on the doors all day. Now, I did speak with one person who had one of these chemical weapons deployed on her, and she talked about that. Take a listen.
It's disgusting. It's abysmal. It's anti-American. We have a First Amendment right to peacefully protest and to assemble. And we've been screaming. Sure, we have our little signs, but it's disgusting. It's completely un-American. We should be able to assemble in front of a federal building and give our peace of mind without being assaulted by less than lethal weapons.
And like you said earlier, Barry, Portland police did mention earlier, they posted on X that anyone barricading or interfering with the gates in the entrance here could be subject to arrest. We did see one person detained by Portland police. It is still unconfirmed to us what they were arrested for, but of course we'll keep you updated with any developments. For now, we'll keep you updated with any developments also online. For now, live in South Portland, Jennifer Singh, K2 News. Back to you, Barry.
Certainly an active scene there, Jennifer. Thank you. And local members of Congress are also responding to today's fatal shooting in Minnesota by a federal officer. Senator Jeff Merkley of Oregon saying online, quote, "Horrific, another senseless execution of a citizen by Trump's lawless federal agents. Federal agents are terrorizing communities in Minnesota, Oregon, and across the country." Washington Congresswoman Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez also responding to that shooting, saying it's unacceptable to have another needless death in Minnesota, and it's unacceptable to have elected officials and others continue to throw gas on this fire or tacitly encourage assaults on law enforcement and anyone else. The situation is un-American, and Secretary Noem needs to step down. And at a press conference today, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek said that the cruelty coming from the federal government needs to stop. She said, quote, "All immigrants are part of our community all across Oregon, everywhere." Also, she said that immigrants built Oregon and that we need to protect each other. Kotek also said that she is directing the Office of Immigration and Refugee Advancement to understand the problem on the ground. K2 is actively tracking the latest developments in this story, both in Minnesota and in Oregon. For more of our coverage, head to KATU.com.
It's not going to stop unless everybody gets out in the streets.
Credit to ABC.
After another person was shot and killed by federal agents in Minneapolis. Here's a look at the scene. Hundreds and marched on city streets with signs bearing the names of both people killed in Minneapolis. Glad you're with us tonight. Hi, everybody. I'm Michelle Esteban. We'll get to the protests that happened here in Seattle in just a moment. But first, let's break down what we know about what happened in Minneapolis today. Less than 3 weeks after an ICE agent shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Good, today we learned 37-year-old ICU nurse Alex Predit was fatally shot as well. Witness video shows the suspect in the street filming agents when Preddy and another person were hit with pepper spray. They went to the ground. The video shows agents surrounded Preddy and jumped on top of him. At least one officer hit him with multiple blows. Video from one angle appears to show an agent take Preddy's gun before any shots were fired, but that has not been confirmed. Then you hear what sounds like 10 shots in rapid succession as the man is on the ground. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem insisting today that Preddy meant to harm federal agents.
I don't know of any peaceful protester that shows up with a gun and ammunition rather than a sign.
The Minneapolis police chief says the department believes Preddy is a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry. Governor Walz has demanded the investigation into today's shooting be led by the state of Minnesota rather than the Trump administration.
Federal government cannot be trusted to lead this investigation. The state will handle it, period.
The officer linked to the deadly shooting is an 8-year Border Patrol veteran. That's according to federal officials. He has not been identified. It's unclear of his work status tonight. We have seen protests in cities from coast to coast, New York City, L.A., D.C., and right here in Seattle. KOMO's Tyler Cunnington spoke to people who were outside the federal building downtown calling for immigration agents to be held accountable. Tyler.
Well, that's right, Michelle. And this is the second time in just over 2 weeks that people have come to the Henry L. Jackson Federal Building in downtown due to federal agents shooting and killing U.S. citizens in just the city of Minneapolis alone. The emotions once again surging tonight for those in our region who felt compelled they needed to speak out.
I want to say we're grieving because we're grieving the loss of a human life. But I also want to say that we're past grieving, that we're angry, that we're really, really angry, that we're fed up.
City traffic cameras capturing what some protesters say was a gathering of around 500 tonight, while organizers estimated that figure was upwards of 1,000. The crowd spilling into 2nd Avenue and other streets, blocking traffic at one point. From there, the group marched around several blocks, prompting Seattle police SUVs to help block off the street. Protesters called out what they say is the escalation of violence by federal agents against U.S. citizens. A memorial created with candles and photos of people who have died as a result of that violence. Whether it was the killing of Renee Good in Minneapolis earlier this month at the hands of an ICE agent, or the killing of that 37-year-old ICU nurse this morning while on the ground, surrounded by several federal agents, organizers here in Seattle say they won't stand for it.
We have to keep fighting. We have to keep taking to the streets. We have to organize. We have to come together and have community and organize.
And those that we talked to afterwards say that this was a peaceful gathering there outside the federal building. We have reached out to SPD to confirm whether or not they had any issues or arrests or any other kinds of disruptions outside of course, that group marching into the street. However, as you can see, those SUVs eventually took control and blocked off that road. However, we have not heard back from them, and we will update that to our website when we do. Reporting live here in Seattle tonight, Tyler Cunnington, KOMO News.
Tyler, thanks very much. Leaders here locally and across the state responding to the second shooting in Minneapolis. Governor Bob Ferguson posted on X, quote, "Another person shot by ICE agents, another life lost. Our descent into authoritarian rule continues. This is a dark chapter in our history of America." Washington Republican Party Chair, State Representative Jim Walsh, responded directly to the governor, saying, quote, "ICE agents are enforcing the law. The left is turning up the deceitful rhetoric." Senator Maria Cantwell posted this: President Trump has crossed the line. Americans will not stand for masked armed troops roaming their neighborhoods. And one of Washington's 2 Republican representatives also condemning the shooting tonight, saying this in a post: I'm disturbed by what I've seen from today's video from Minnesota. It's critically important that the American people and Congress be given a better understanding of how immigration enforcement is being handled. Also today, dozens gathered for a march and rally protesting President Trump's agenda and ICE at Fireman's Park. That was in Tacoma, happened this afternoon. This event was planned before today's shooting, but only intensified the feelings of protesters that we spoke to. You can download anytime the KOMO News app to track the shooting, the latest reaction in Minneapolis, Seattle, and around the country. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll post the latest on our KOMO News app, and we do put extended interviews on the KOMO YouTube channel.
Now, streets closed in downtown Salt Lake for a protest over the latest deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Malachi.
And I'm Mika Miyashima. People gathered and marched near Salt Lake's federal building. They're out there now calling for accountability and an end to ICE. Our Christian Sita is live downtown for us. Christian.
Mika, Brian, now that protest is still continuing this evening. Now, I do want to show you what we're seeing here on State Street. You can see plenty of protesters. Looks like there's hundreds of people holding signs, marching and chanting. Now, this started just before 3 p.m. and they were at the federal building where they demonstrated before walking down these streets. Now, organizers say the event was held in response to what they describe as a public killing of a U.S. citizen by ICE agents in Minnesota. Chanting and holding signs reading "I stand with Minnesota, stop the cruelty and abolish ICE." Protesters marched from the Wallace Federal Building to the Federal Immigration Office. Organizers call the rally an emergency response, saying the Minneapolis incident reflects a broader pattern of violence by federal immigration enforcement.
Killing American citizens. This is not making America great.
Now, as you can see, the protest is still going on. It's been pretty peaceful so far. And again, they did march from the federal building to the field immigration building here in Salt Lake City. Reporting live in Salt Lake City, Christian Sita, KUTV 2 News.
Okay, Christian, and more tonight on 2 News at 10. And there is other fallout today from the second deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis in weeks. A federal judge says Homeland Security cannot destroy evidence in the shooting of Alex Preddy.
The investigation may center on videos in the moments before an ICE agent fired. Reports say videos show Preddy had a cell phone, not a gun, when he was shot.
I've got a question for all of you. What side do you want to be on? The side of an all-powerful federal government that can kill, injure, menace, and kidnap its citizens off the streets? Or on the side of a nurse at the VA hospital who died bearing witness to such government? Or the side of a mother whose last words were, "I'm not mad at you"?
Governor Walz pointing to a witness video saying Preddy had protested peacefully when officers tackled then shot him. A Border Patrol commander, meanwhile, says Preddy put himself in that situation and that the victims are, quote, the Border Patrol agents. The officer who shot and killed Alex Preddy is an 8-year Border Patrol veteran. He has not been identified.
It's unknown if he's been taken off patrol or placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. Minnesota investigators say the feds blocked access to the shooting scene.
When our team arrived, they were blocked by federal agents with the Department of Homeland Security from accessing the scene. Our team also secured a search warrant for the scene, which is an unusual move in a public area like that, but we did that attempting to have judicial approval to enter this scene to gather evidence. We were once again blocked by federal authorities to go in and do that scene examination.
The local county attorney is conducting its own investigation, and the lead prosecutor says it has other evidence. The White House and DHS have accused Minnesota leaders of not working with ICE on deportation efforts.
This is the third ICE shooting in Minneapolis in less than several weeks. 37-year-old Renee Good shot and killed early January when ICE says she tried to run an agent over with her car, a claim Minnesota disputes. Then an ICE agent shot a man who was in the country illegally after he and 2 others were accused of attacking that agent while he tried to make an arrest. And Democrats are now threatening a partial government shutdown over funding for ICE.
Senator Chuck Schumer says a bill before Congress is inadequate to, quote, rein in the abuses of ICE. Other Democrats echo him. Last week, the House passed a measure to keep the federal government open past next Saturday. A key Republican in the Senate says GOP members are exploring all options to avoid a shutdown.
And here in Utah, a Salt Lake area real estate development firm says it will not sell one of its buildings to the federal government for an ICE detention center.
The Ritchie Company says there is no deal to sell property at 1199 North, 6880 West. This is west of the airport. Demonstrators this week rallied against the ICE center outside of Ritchie Group offices.
Saturday afternoon, the company called for civil and respectful dialogue when it announced that the Ritchie Group and its investors have no plans to sell or lease the property in question to the federal government.
All right, welcome back again. My name is Osas, reporting from Nigeria, Lagos State precisely. I can see a lot of, people coming out to protest, to agitate, but my question goes, is these people that we are seeing right now protesting, these Americans that we are seeing protesting, what are they actually protesting for? Are they protesting for illegal immigrants to stay in the country, or are they protesting for the ICE people should stop arresting illegal immigrants? I want to know what they are protesting for. Now, there is a senator that tweeted, which is Senator Chuck Schumer. Let me read it out, what he said. What is happening in Minnesota is appalling and unacceptable in any American city. Democrats sought common sense reform in the Department of Homeland Security. Spend the bill, but because of Republicans' refusal to stand up to President Trump, the DHS bill is woefully inadequate. To rein in the abuses of ICE, I will vote no. Now, my question goes, is it that the ICE, they are carrying out all constitutional work or all constitutional duties? Because I remember when the Minnesota governor, which is Tim Walz, he said something. He said that the ICE, they are doing unprofessional work, unprofessional job. Now, my question goes to the Governor Tim Walz. What you are saying right now is that the ICE, they are doing illegal work in your state. Now, my question goes to the viewers. Do you think the governor of Minnesota can stop the ICE from performing their constitutional duty? And what do you think about these protests? Do you think that the protesters are being sponsored by oppositional party? Or what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Because this same thing that Donald Trump is doing right now, Barack Obama did it during his own regime. And there was no protest. There was no agitation that Donald Trump does not like Obama does not like the black. There was no such news. But what is happening right now, a lot of people are calling it appalling. They don't like what is happening. They don't like the way Donald Trump is taking this illegal immigrant very serious. Once again, my name is Osas, and this is 30 minutes news from Nigeria. So in case you come across this particular video, please don't forget to share and don't forget to subscribe. Share so that other people in other countries can see what is happening in America. Because right now, protesters are now taking it so personal, because I'm seeing this thing as something that is being sponsored by oppositional party just to ridicule the regime of Donald Trump. If they are protesting for illegal immigrants to stay in the country, I don't think that is a good reason. Because in my own country, Nigeria, you can't come to my own country, Nigeria, and without proper documentation. When you want to travel to a particular country, always go in a documented form. Illegal immigrant is not acceptable in any country. So protesters, you have to, sit down and understand what ICE are truly doing. Because those two people that died a few days ago, now they are gone. they can't join you guys to protest. But the way I'm seeing these protesters right now, they keep on increasing every day, every day, every day. So what do you think Donald Trump can do right now to stop these people from protesting, from spoiling his own regime? Because right now in Nigeria, when things like this has skyrocketed, the federal agency, they will surely look for a way to stop the protest so that it won't go in a south way. Do you get? So I'm not supporting illegal immigrants, and currently the thing is happening in one particular state, which is Minnesota. And with what I've checked so far, based on my research, I noticed that they said, according to CNN, that there is a fraud taking place in Minnesota, and that particular fraud is from this Somalian community, and a lot of side talks has taken place all over the world. So right now, I just want a better place for the Americans. So if you think that this protest will bring a unity among you guys, there is no problem. It's your right to protest. But if you think that this thing will bring disunity, you have to protect your country. Stop taking money, because right now with what I'm watching, what I'm hearing, this thing is being sponsored by oppositional party, because nobody with their right senses that will protects against illegal immigrants. Because when someone travels to your country without a proper documentation, don't forget, if anything should happen in that community or in that environment, there is no way that they can trace that person. There is no way, because the person information is not with America. And this kind of people, although I'm a black person, don't take that away from me. I'm a black person, and I stand against illegal immigrants in the United States of America. So if you are watching right now, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, don't forget to forward. I don't want my video to be more than 30 minutes because I have a lot of things to talk about, but right now I want to end the stream right now. So don't forget to support me. God bless you, and God bless your family. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So in case for those that haven't watched the previous video that I posted, let me repost it again so that you can see what I'm talking about. This is the first video.
The Trump administration's immigration crackdown and ICE surge in the Twin Cities drew large protests today.
It was part of a general strike and walkout backed by labor leaders and faith groups. Special correspondent Fred DeSam Lazaro begins our coverage with this report from Minneapolis.
ICE out! ICE out! Thousands of people braved bone-chilling temperatures this afternoon for a rally in downtown Minneapolis, protesting what they call a siege of the Twin Cities by federal agents. For many here and throughout the Twin Cities, Renee Nicole Good has become an icon. The 37-year-old mother of three was shot by an ICE officer in Minneapolis 2 weeks ago. Her image now appears widely throughout the Twin Cities. Annie Rose co-owns the Lost Fox, a downtown St. Paul cafe that's a quiet refuge from all the tension outside.
Renee Good is the face of it. It's a face that people can feel comfortable with. She's a woman, she was a mother, she was white, and it's something that we can come back to and say, oh, they came for my neighbors and then they came for me. Well, that is something that we can all resonate with.
Today she closed the place, even though it's tough to lose a Friday evening's revenue in the slowest month of the year, she says.
It's already hard out here. Every January I take out a no-interest credit card to make sure I can make payroll. This year I'm going to probably have to pay interest on that credit card.
Across the metro area, hundreds of small businesses, especially restaurants, heeded a call to observe a general strike, many in sympathy with immigrant-owned shops where business has plummeted sharply amid fears of ICE patrols. Schools in the area also closed today. Labor unions led the call for the general strike, but the decision was made easier by today's life-threatening low temperatures. Still, Annie Rose said she felt compelled to brace them.
It's all fear-based. You're afraid to go to rallies, whether it's cold, you're afraid to go to rallies because you don't want to be shot. You're afraid to stand up for things because of fear. And how can you live your life if you're constantly in fear? It's important to show my kids that no, you can stand up for what you believe in.
Protesters marched about a mile through downtown Minneapolis to the indoor basketball arena. The DHS gave no signs today of easing up on its surge on the Twin Cities in the days ahead. On Thursday, Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino was asked if there's a number of arrests agents were targeting.
There is a number, and it's called all of them.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said 10,000, quote, criminal illegal aliens have been arrested here, a sharp spike from the start of the week when the agency put the figure at 3,000. But the department has released details of far fewer cases, which it calls the worst of the worst. All this comes at a time of rising public scrutiny. ICE officers detained a 5-year-old boy on Tuesday during an immigration enforcement operation. At a press conference today, Marcos Charles, the head of ICE's deportation branch, said the boy was being cared for.
We do everything in our power not to separate families. So they took him back together to Minneapolis, here to the city, to the ICE facility for processing, and now they are being well cared for at a family residential center.
This is what community looks like.
On Thursday, 3 prominent civic activists were arrested after an anti-ICE protest at a St. Paul church. The White House later posted an AI-manipulated image of one woman to its social media account. When asked about the image, Kaylin Dorr, the White House Deputy Communications Director, wrote, "Enforcement of the law will continue. The memes will continue." At a separate anti-ICE rally today, roughly 100 people, including members of clergy, were arrested after protesting outside a terminal at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport.
I am slowly losing hope, and that is a problem, and that's what keeps me up at night. But then I go to rallies, like you asked why I'm going to go to the rally, and that is to see hope in process.
For the PBS NewsHour, this is Fred DeSam-Lazaro in Minneapolis.
Hey, just a minute before you move on. I want to say thank you for watching and for supporting us. It's you, all of our viewers, our readers, and our listeners who make everything that we do possible. So thank you from everyone here at PBS News.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News.
Temperatures have not.
Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution.
All right, welcome back. Once again, my name is Osas, reporting from Nigeria, Lagos State precisely. Now, let me tell you one thing that the Americans are afraid of. Some of the Americans, you know, right now, Americans is being divided into two. The one that supported the ICE, the one that is against the ICE. Now, for those one that are against the ICE, for those one that are supporting the ICE, number one is that some people fear losing control of border. Don't forget, by the time immigrants start coming into a particular country and they started dominating that place, the rich citizen, they will be scared to even say something. So some people are scared that by the time this illegal immigrant is getting too much, a lot of fake drugs will start coming in, a lot of people that they have bad record in their country in terms of maybe kidnapping, in terms of shooting, maybe robbery. Now they will start coming into the country. A lot of people, they are scared. A lot of Americans are scared of this illegal immigrant. So that is why they are supporting the ICE. Now, for those people that they are against the ICE, let me tell you the major reason. Now, this set of people, they fear government become more aggressive. Now, they are looking at it that, okay, Donald Trump is sending more ICE. And these ICE, they are saying these ICE that they are doing unprofessional work. They are not doing a professional job. So they are not seeing Donald Trump as being autocratic in nature. So they are scared that tomorrow Donald Trump might wake up and decided to, run for the third term. And this set of people, they don't want it. This set of Americans, they don't want it. They want they want the America that even the commoners, or even the people that they are not well documented, they can also agitate for their rights. That is what this set of people are saying. Now, local community fear violence and instability, which is those people that support the ICE, what the ICE is doing, because those people, they are saying the ICE that the ICE is doing a very good job. If we have such president in Nigeria, president like Donald Trump, what he's doing right now in America, everyone in Nigeria will be very, very happy. They will be very, very glad. A lot of Nigerians feel like to travel out of their own country and go to another country to settle down, but in a proper documented way. Because when you come to my country, you will see a lot of things. I'm proud of Nigeria and I'm proud to be a Nigerian. But what our government is doing, we always wish if our president is Donald Trump, because we like a president that takes the citizen before any other thing. That is number one. Now, looking at what the protesters are doing and looking at what a lot of people are saying here, and here, a lot of people are saying that, what Donald Trump is doing is very bad. Some are saying, what Donald Trump is doing is very, very good. But right now, those people that are protesting, a lot of side talks everywhere. People are saying that it's politicians that is sponsoring this, that allegedly that is Democrats, that is Democrat that is sponsoring it. When you check the internet, you see a lot of comment, a lot of people's view, a lot of people story regarding this protest that is taking place in the United States of America. I have shown you the videos of people, protesters, and I have even shown you the video of one of the protesters that got shot. But when they ask the ICE agency, they told them that this particular protester was with a gun. He carried a gun to shoot at them. So that is why they shot the protester. So a lot of story up and down. So, and right now, even the ICE officer that shot the protester, for now, there is no name of that ICE officer. So a lot of debate is going everywhere. And another issue that I'm seeing right now is the social media, because social media is carrying news that they are fabricating news that is not even happening. They are changing the narrative. They are making the regime look so bad, look so appalling to the people of Americans. So this social media is still one of the challenges that the Donald Trump regime is facing right now. But the way I'm seeing this protester, I'm not seeing them stopping this protest for 2 days time. I'm not saying it. I'm seeing this protest as something that will later come out in a massive way, that to the extent that the federal agency cannot even handle again if care is not taken. And a lot of people are saying Donald Trump needs, which a lot of Americans, they are saying that Donald Trump needs to carry out a strong, rigid policy that will make sure that these protesters that are being sponsored by politicians, oppositional parties, that you should try and carry out a vector power that will push them back to their house, or start giving one after the other taking them to the prison. That is what a lot of people are saying. And I even have a friend that we actually talk about this current protest that is taking place in America. And my friend laughed at me and said, oh my God, if it is our own country, Nigeria, forget that. The military will start shooting, pack, 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 pack. The police will start tear gassing. How will I put it? The politicians, they will surely look for a way to make sure that that protest does not exceed 2 days. That Americans are blessed with good leaders, with good, abiding leaders that are serving them. They are respecting their movement. They are respecting their freedoms. They are not, disturbing them in terms of their rights. Because right now in Nigeria, when you protest, before you know, hoodlums will come and hijack that protest, and government will see it as if you are not a threat to the country. So I love what Donald Trump is doing, and I love what the regime is the Donald Trump regime is currently doing, because number one, they are not depriving people away from their right. They know that it is their right to protect, and that is it. And another question is, since this particular protest is taking place right now in America, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Americans will vote for Republican again? Do you think they will ever support Republican again? But another question is, will the American vote against Republican in the coming election? Because the way I'm seeing it, Donald Trump still have up to like 2 years plus to stay in the office. Now, the protester, will they keep on protesting every day, every day, every day? Because this is the first time I'm seeing that in America, a lot of protest is taking place because of the president's decision. Now, before Donald Trump became the president of United States of America, he has seen a lot of, a lot of things, a lot of fraud, a lot of mismanagement. So for Donald Trump to come out and start fighting against the number one, the fraud, number two, illegal immigrants, know that he has seen it before entering that position. So if you're a good citizen of America, I want you to sit down, relax, have a cup of water, then ask yourself this question: what these people are doing right now, are they doing the right thing? Because right now they are saying they are protecting the black, but to me, the black people, they are with the black people that enter in a documented way. They are living freely. They are going to work every day. They are not shouting. They are not saying Donald Trump is bad. They are very happy because of they've seen it that a lot of fraud has taken place in Minnesota, in Somali community. So my question goes to the Somali people. Now that Donald Trump is fighting against fraud, is fighting against illegal immigrants, is it now you are not calling yourself a black person? Or is it now you not accept Africa as part of, like accepting Africa as one? Because I remember back then, you guys always see yourself as you guys cannot be addressed as African, you guys cannot be addressed as black person. So right now, a lot of propaganda are taking place right now in America. I want to ask you guys question. Is it when you guys are in trouble that you guys will start claiming the black and the African people? The African people are engaged fraud. They are engaged it with everything. They are engaged fraud. I'm talking about African person that want the betterment for his own country, not the one that will start, looking for what he or she will start eating. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys for staying up to this present time. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. God bless you. So I'm going to end it here today, and tomorrow, by this time, same time tomorrow, I'll be live again. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to drop your comment. And don't forget to share. God bless you. God bless America. God bless Nigeria.